Yes, ma'am. Just a second. Success is never a one day thing. It always starts with hard work, strategies, and maybe a little bit of luck. With these lines, I, your host, Mansi Chauhan, welcome you all in another episode of Safarnama. And today with us, we have as our guest of honor Mrs. Chhitra Subramaniam, Senior Vice President, Creative and Production of Reliance Entertainment. Ma'am, first of all, we are really grateful to have you here with us. And a little bit about the concept that we have received a lot of questions. Some of are from your personal life, like of your education and the work that you're currently doing. And some questions are from college students who really want to make a mark in this field, in the field of television, film, and productions. So, starting off with my very first question, ma'am, coming from somebody who is from a small town, I wanted to know one thing. When I started my college journey, like 3 years back, when I first thought of doing mass media and mass communication, there was not a very good response from my parents, and because this is still not something that is very acceptable here. But as you are somebody on a very big position of a company right now, and you started, आपने भी कहीं ना कहीं से शुरुआत की होगी. So we wanted to know कि how did you start, and what was your passion, force, driving force behind it?
Okay, first of all, thank you for having me on Safarnama and Gurukul Foundation, and y'all are doing great work. It's an honor to be here. Uh, so, आप कौन सी जगह से आए हैं? Small town मतलब किस जगह
ग्वालियर,
से हैं?
ग्वालियर मध्य प्रदेश.
ग्वालियर मध्य प्रदेश. तो मैं भी स्मॉल टाउनर हूँ. मैं भी लखनऊ और गाजियाबाद की पढ़ी लिखी हूँ और मैं भी स्मॉल टाउन से हूँ. So how did it start for me and how did it happen for me is a long story. But if you can ask me a specific question again, then I could be able to respond. Yeah.
All right. So to rephrase my question, like, and to join it with a question that we have here, ki for somebody who wants to pursue a career in mass media or film and television production, and there are not, and they are specifically when they were searching for it, so there are a lot of institutes and IIFT running for the top. So, ma'am, joining it with that question, I wanted to know that from where did you get your education first, and क्योंकि I was going through your LinkedIn and I see that you have an economics degree first, and then you went for St. Xavier's. So yeah, specifically focusing on that. So tell us about your college life a bit, and how did you like
Okay.
decided
So
that you
the
want to pursue this
correlation.
field?
Okay, so I came from a small town, and my father was in a transferable job in Bank of India. So we went to various places. एंड फिल्म के बारे में तो कभी सोचा ही नहीं था. इनफैक्ट मेरे पिताजी और बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रिक्ट थे और उन्होंने बोला ये वो हमको ही वुडंट अलाउ अस टू ब्रिंग एनी ऑफ द film magazines into the house. There was no television. We were not allowed to watch movies. None of that. Okay, because he was really against it, and it's so crazy that I'm right in the thick of the world of
Yeah.
cinema in India, um, and it just happened. I believe that certain things just happen, and I'm one of those examples of it just happened. Yeah. सो हम लोग ना हमारे नेबर्स के पास टेलीविजन था, तो हम बहुत मतलब चुपचाप से जाके वहां पे संडे को बैठ के हम लोग पिक्चर देखते थे. एंड पापा वुड देन से घर आ जाओ वापस, एंड स्टारडस्ट अगर घर पे आ गया कहीं गलती से या कोई भी ऐसी मैगजीन आ गई तो उठा के फाड़ के फेंक देते थे. यू नो तो ये तो कभी ये करियर ऑप्शन ही नहीं था, ये वर्ल्ड मेरे लिए था ही नहीं. आफ्टर आई गॉट मैरिड, my husband was is from FTII, Film Institute of in Pune, which is really a
Yeah.
premium institute. He's from there, and I that exposed me to the various options that are there in making content. So I had joined advertising, and वो भी just happened हो गया. Okay. And then I got into I got into production. वो भी just ऐसे ही हो गया. The only thing I think that worked for me was that um, um, and that's worked for me all my life, is that whatever I pick up or whatever I see, I tend to get excited about everything, you know. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I get excited. I look at something new and I feel very curious, and I feel that, oh, I need to learn this. And even if I don't know it, I want to know about it. I want to learn it, and that's something that has really opened the path for me. Also, that whatever opportunities that came to me or the people that I met, I would ask what they're doing, and oh, this sounds very interesting, and it could be anything. So I think I've steered my life like that, and if an opportunity came, I grabbed it. So I think, life is. There are so many people in today's time who are fantastic writers, directors, who are with an engineering background, who have done MBA, who, and they felt passionate about it, and they've gotten into doing the work, right? Now, doing the work is a
Right.
very vast field in any industry, correct? So you've got to pick up specifics and say, what in this do I like? Yeah. And then you've got to pick it up and run along with it, and you've got to learn, do a lot of hard work, and keep doing it and go through the journey.
ड्यूली एक्नॉलेज जी। तो इस इससे ही आगे जुड़ा हुआ मेरा अगला सवाल काफी स्पेसिफिक होगा। इट कम्स मैम, इट कम्स फ्रॉम अ प्लेस ऑफ क्यूरियोसिटी, एंड दैट इज कि नाउ दैट यू आर अ सीनियर वाइस प्रेसिडेंट, बट देयर वाज अ टाइम जब व्हेन यू स्टार्टेड, जैसा आपने कहा कि इट हैपेंड टू यू एंड यू स्टार्टेड विद योर फर्स्ट एडवर्टाइजमेंट जॉब, एंड एज आई वाज रीडिंग अबाउट यू, इट इज हियर मेंशन्ड दैट इट वाज chief production administrator, head of productions. It just started. It is here from 2002. So, ma'am, the position that you are in today, and the very first job you had, if you would like to tell us that the very specific moments of your very first job, what would they be? What matlab, as in when it comes to a first job?
Oh God, in my first job, I learned the fine art of Xeroxing. Those days, so I was an advertising, trainee in client servicing in Trikaya, and actually my first corporate job was space selling. Sales for getting ad revenue for by selling space for Anand Bazar Patrika, Business World, and Sunday were the two magazines. And the way I had no clue what this career was. I had no idea. I had just finished my education, my college, and I joined some computer coding, course which I sucked at. I absolutely had no idea what that was. I didn't enjoy it. And I was looking around, and my neighbor said, "Arey, Anand Bazar Patrika, they're looking for space sellers." तो ऐसे चलो कितना पे करेंगे, उन्होंने खुद बोला 1,000 रुपया या कुछ जो भी बोला। तो मैंने फोन उठाया उनको and said, "Are you looking for people?" And I would just cold call, pick up the phone, cold call, and they said, "Come for an interview," and I got in. And that's how it started, and that exposed me to the world of advertising, that there is something called advertising, and I found that fascinating. And again, I picked up the phone and I called up and I got in as a trainee. And there I was, my first job was about 3 to 4 months in Trikaya. All I did was Xeroxing. That's all I did. So, but the thing for me is that the willingness to do anything, almost anything, because it doesn't matter what position you're in your life. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're willing to do the work, whatever it is, because there's dignity of labor, correct? There's dignity of learning, and if you're willing to do any of those things, you'll go very far. That's my life lesson. I don't, even at whatever position I'm in today, it doesn't matter. I am willing to do what it takes, and I'm willing to, it makes no difference to me whether I'm Xeroxing or whether I'm strategizing or I'm having high level meetings or, all of that. I still go get my coffee. I still make my, I don't wait for people to come and serve me. I do what I did, and so I'm pretty grounded in that sense, and I've worked hard to stay grounded.
the willingness to do what it takes. Got it. Uh,
Yeah.
with that, ma'am, I would take up a question from here. So a student here is asking, just a second, ma'am. Yeah. So, ma'am, the question is that they are somebody who are looking forward to do a course from FTI, Film and Television Institute, but when they got to know the cutoff and the selection that happens, there are very like there's a very low chance of them going there. So their question is, when it comes to specific film and television production courses, the course for the people who are behind the screen, ma'am, does it matter if the course is like 2 to 3 years long, or if we can do the short term course for learning purpose,
Why?
like
I, I would say that you should go for the best, right? There is SRFTII, there's FTII, there's Chennai, there's Jamia, there are so many institutes, there's Bislingwoods. Looking at your purse, how much you can afford to, you should aim for the best, and you should aim for the top and not get disappointed if you. It's very natural to get disappointed if you don't get in, but the thing is that you must try for that, because there are no shortcuts to, there are no shortcuts in this line. There is no shortcut. If you really want to make a mark, and you make a mark for yourself, I'm not saying in the world externally, but you want to make a mark about your work, okay? And today, uh, people, uh, if it's a technical course, right, that people want to do, then these institutes are very important, because people. Oh, and the thing is, what course do you want to do? You want to get, everybody wants to get into the film world. Everybody. So we have to ask the question. I think it's really important to ask the question, which area of filmmaking excites you? Now, when you first start off as a student, and somebody, and I would put myself in that position, where I didn't know anything. Uh, it's like, I don't know what it is, but what is it that excites me about this world is something that you need to write down. Yeah. Is it, most people are very enamored because they want to become actors, you know acting karni hai, the a lot majority. Then some say, you know what, I love to write and I want to express. Great. Somebody wants to say that, knows that they have some directorial inclination and would love to direct. Correct. So the thing is to internalize it and say that, ask yourself those hard questions, and then go for it. You know, and everybody knows what they at that moment in their life, what they're interested in and what they think is their talent. But once you get into, you need that education today, because it's become more sophisticated. You know, in every department of the filmmaking process or content making process, there is a lot more sophistication now than there was in the time that I came into this world. You know, uh, and there are far more options. There is the VFX, there is audio, there is camera, all those, of course, camera and audio and all of that. But then there's a lot in post production. So somebody wants to be in the more, in the technical side, somebody wants to be in the storytelling side, somebody wants to be in front of the camera. So ask that question, and then find out which are the best institutes and try and get in.
Got it.
You
Ma'am,
know,
talking about content space and how it's changing. So a while back when Geo arrived, we all saw a huge shift in how we consume the content. And a while back when this pandemic happened, we saw a rise in influencers and all this social media when it comes to content creation part. So, ma'am, what do you think that how does it change for the purpose of content? As in, like for 2 3 years from now, nobody really thought of, yeah, there was a use space for YouTube, for amateurs, for the people who were just beginning, but now there are people who are content creators on Instagram, on YouTube, which are like getting brand recognition and a space for them to showcase their talent. So, ma'am, what do you think? What kind of an opportunity do you see this as?
I think it's great what social media is a double-edged sword as far as I'm concerned. it's we consume it so much and it influences us, and then we see influencers and we see people with so many followers and stuff like that, and then we feel we are not good enough because every like is a validation, and every like that doesn't come is a reverse I mean is a rejection. So I think that social media has its good points and its bad points. But the thing is, if you can, I mean, for example, Instagram is really fun if you want to, create some content, and one can start using that and to hone one's skills, because you pick up your camera, you start shooting it, then you get visually, you start taking better shots, and then you start making reels. You'll put stuff together. You'll start seeing your own creative juices flowing, and also you can, you would have a point of view on life, or a point of view about yourself, or you want to have a point of view about something, and then you create something which is a page or a whatever ID which is speaks about that point of view, correct? uh, uh, but I mean, and people are earning out of it and so on and so forth, correct? Um I would say that, you know, I, I would say that besides social media, using that, also don't keep that as only one career option. Use that as a tool, and not the end game. Uh, and the people who are making it on social media, really, the influencers are also doing something behind the scene, which is some hard work, right? Not just for social media, but they're doing whatever, right? I mean, a certain actor will get a lot of followers, 50 million and 25 million and all of that, but there's immense hard work that that actor is putting behind the social media screen.
Right. Duly
Hello?
acknowledged. And with yes, ma'am, I can hear you. आपकी आवाज बिल्कुल आ रही है अच्छे से.
नहीं, आपका थोड़ा सा इधर उधर, आई थिंक नेटवर्क में कुछ इश्यू है, कोई बात नहीं, नो प्रॉब्लम.
जी, तो थैंक यू सो मच फॉर आंसरिंग द क्वेश्चन मैम एंड इसी के साथ आगे बढ़ते हुए टेकिंग अनदर क्वेश्चन. All right. So, ma'am, here's a student who has just recently completed their 12th and they're looking forward to pursue a career in film and television production, specifically in writing and directing. They have like written a very specific question here. And as somebody who is right now 16 years, 17 years old, they just wanted to ask you something. Ki, it seems hard, and people say that not a lot of people make it, but like is there any chance for somebody, for a very common, for an average person like him? I mean, that's all his question. He just wants to know, is there hope, is there any chance for him, like if he pursues this particular career, like is he gonna success when it comes to film and television, specifically in writing and directing?
Of course, he thinks he's average or she thinks she's average, right? The thing is, आपको इंटरेस्ट है. हम तो पैदा नहीं हुए थे ना कि मतलब it's not that we were born and we knew how to write and how to direct. You've got to learn those things, correct? If you desire to do it, so start working on it. लिखना, देखो, राइटिंग में कुछ करना है तो लिखना ही पड़ेगा. रोज लिखो बैठ के 4 घंटे. All the writers who have come up and who are doing very well have put in 12, 16, 20 hours writing, and the first few things that they have written have gotten rejected completely. But you've got to keep writing. ये मत सोचो हमने ताजमहल बना लिया है मेरे पहले राइटिंग से और दुनिया मेरे को अक्नॉलेज नहीं कर रही है. ये मत सोचना. आगे बढ़ो, लिखते जाओ, लिखते जाओ, लिखते जाओ, लर्न करते जाओ, सीखते जाओ. Today you get screenplays on Google. I mean, of course, go to a school, because you see, writing is also, writing for content is a skill that you have to learn. Okay, it's not just about words. There is a structure, there's a craft to it. Yeah, it's very different from writing a book. So if they want to write specifically for content, then they have to learn it. कैसे लिखना है, और वो बहुत जरूरी है. वो सिर्फ ऐसे ही नहीं आता है, genuinely नहीं आता है, unless the person can self teach themselves. If you're willing to work hard, if you're willing to put in the hours, if you're willing to learn, if you're willing to to do it, then definitely there will be success. आना ही है
Right.
सक्सेस. एंड अपने आप को एवरेज कभी मत समझना, ये समझना कि भाई this is me, I am unique, I want to do this, and I will put the effort in it, and I will learn. Even direction just doesn't come just like that. You've got to learn, you know.
Right.
जरूरी है सीखना.
Ji. Ma'am,
So,
also I feel
so
like
yeah,
this.
that's my thing.
Yeah, ma'am, I also feel like this question comes from a place that this person feels like they do not know a lot about the particular industry, because when it comes to other specific fields like engineering or medical, we see that there is a structure, there is a specific structure, there is examination, then you'll get into a college, and from then you'll start earning, or then this hospital or a placement. But when it comes to fields like these, there is no specific structure what they wanted to say. And like, as an outsider they felt like all right, let's convert it to a question then, ma'am. See, right now, जो पहला question मैंने आपसे पूछा था उसमें आपने बताया कि it happened to you, and but from a perspective of an outsider like you were, if अगर आप इसको specifically intentionally follow कर रहे होते तो what would have been a specific structure from today's time?
Yeah. So if you're interested, come back to what is it that interests you. Find that out within yourself. Okay. That's the first thing, like I mentioned. Second thing is then to say that, okay, so suppose you want to do direction. Okay. Then you say
Right.
which are the colleges that offer the courses in direction. Yeah. Go from the top to the bottom. Look at that. Okay. Now a direction course typically will be about 3 years. Typically. Okay.
Right.
So you will have to enlist, you will have to enroll, you will have to get admission there, you will have to go through that course. That course is structured over there. Okay. Now, if you're in direction, in most of the filmmaking and content making field, most of it is freelance work.
Right.
So there's a lot of struggle. There is a lot of struggle because it's not that you'll get jobs in companies. There are production houses. There are studios, uh, like say for example Reliance that I work for, and you get hired in either of them. It's not like technology, it's not like the tech industry, it's not like the automobile industry, it is not like one of those. Okay. It's there are few campus interviews and things like that, but and campus placements, but you have a better chance of a good career if you're from some of the top colleges. And once you're out there in the field, it is most of the work is freelance. Okay. So there is struggle, there will be months of no work, there will be months of work, and there will be ups and downs, there will be, and you will live from project to project if you're a freelancer. And like I said, most are freelancers, but if you're good at your job, then you get picked up and you start getting a lot of work. It's not like a bank job, it's not like a corporate job which is safe, secure. It's not like that. It's very different.
Ji.
And the thing is that
Ji.
the whole world is enamored by this industry, correct? But the size of the industry is small. And it's not that we
Yeah.
are not looking for people. We're looking for what we're not look. It's not that we're not looking for people. Everybody is looking for talent. Everybody is looking for good writers. Everybody is looking for good directors. You know, but to make that cut, all the directors, most of the actors, okay, have gone through a fair amount of struggle.
Right. They have. That's why they have these huge success stories before them.
Yeah. So what happens is we tend to see the very few success stories that are at the top, the and we think that um, uh, uh, it'll be there for everybody. It's not quite so. But of course, there are more and more opportunities which are increasing thanks to OTT platforms, thanks to television broadcast, all of this opening up. There are a lot more opportunities, and there's a lot more opportunity for content to happen because all of them want good content. So opportunities
जी
are growing, but you've got to do the learning. You've got to do that hard work. Like I keep saying,
जी
there are no shortcuts in this.
there are no shortcuts, there are none.
No.
Got it. Got it. With that, taking a slight different route from the questions that we're having, ma'am, I wanted to ask you one very specific thing कि चित्रा मैम जब आप काम नहीं कर रहे होते तब आप क्या कर रहे होते हैं?
So my life is जब काम नहीं कर रहे होते. So you know I'm very active in the social sector, in the development sector. So I have a couple of initiatives that I've co-founded. So there is the animal welfare. There we have a shelter, and we're coming up with a lot more stuff. We have a shelter, and we have an NGO called Foundation, Samovilla Foundation. Then there is an initiative in menstrual care, which is called Pad Squad, and there is Hope. Is another initiative which we work in education and in health and nutrition for children, and hunger. So, that keeps me very busy through the weekends and once I come back from office. So that's there. And जब मैं ये नहीं कर रही होती हूँ, so there's a routine that I have, and there is I love my walking. I like traveling. I do meditation, and these are the things that I love doing, and some reading and spending time with my family, friends. A normal life, like most people.
Our life. Got it. Talking about time, ma'am, do we have the time to take few more questions?
Yes, sure, Mansi.
All, all right. So moving on to our next question that we have. Okay, so this person is very specific. They have asked a one-liner that, ma'am, how can we get internship opportunities in big organization like yours? Uh, Most of the time, we don't get to know about it because, yeah, that's the whole question, I guess, ma'am. They specifically asked that how can they, as college students, if there is a process, if there are opportunities, how can they get to know about
Th-
it?
There's no process really. There's no process really that we put up or looking for interns. That doesn't happen. So it's really about when we look for interns, and we're constantly looking for interns. I know because we're all asking uh, who's looking for interns. Uh, if they're from a specific film college, what happens is that if you are in a college like say FTI, SRFTI, Whistling Woods, this, that, and the other. The minute you're in that college, you also have your alumni, right? You have your passed out students who are already doing a lot in the business, correct? So you through your alumnus and through your alumni, you start getting opportunities, and that's what happens everywhere. IIT students will who've passed out and who are now senior in some company will go back to their college and say, listen, I'm looking for hires, but I will take from my college, and I know this student, and I know this one, and I know this one, correct? So internships are not just going to come up just like that, and nobody is going to just pick up a 10th standard and a 12th standard person. No, unless there is some influence and it comes through, अरे यार प्लीज मेरे इसको ले लो एज एन इंटर्न, वो अलग बात है. बट आपको तो फिल्म लाइन में घुसने के लिए, even if you want to become an actor, you like Jerry Balawat, for example. So many people who are who are actors today and great actors, they're from various institutes. They've also spent 3 years learning the craft, you know. So the internship opportunities will come in the sense that you keep asking because there is no formal platform, or companies don't put out looking for interns. वो नहीं होता है, okay. Broadcasting companies could be doing it, but OTT platforms are doing it. Amazon will put out, Netflix will put out job opportunities on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is a great space. If today more and more content companies are doing placements through LinkedIn. So please go there. Please be active on LinkedIn. You will get opportunities there, and then you can apply over there.
Gee, with that, I hope, Sudhanshu, that answered your question. Moving on. So, ma'am, while I was going through again
We
talking,
never
we
get
are
to.
talking about
Are
like,
people attending? I just wanted to know: are people attending, or is it they've sent the questions earlier?
ma'am, they have sent the questions earlier. I just, when they see this from time to time, I sometimes get to know their names, so I'm responding to that only.
Okay.
With that, ma'am, moving on to my next question. Again, as we were talking about LinkedIn, and as I was full on stalking you on LinkedIn, I got to know that you have various social projects that you were talking about, and one of them includes something about menstrual cups. And as somebody who is connected to NGOs here in my city and is thinking of something along the line, I know this is something different from the questions I was told to ask. So, ma'am, I wanted to know about the project that you've had. Like, I suppose it's somewhere along the lines of shifting rural women from pads to menstrual cups or something along the lines of that. We want to know more, a
So,
little more about it.
yeah, so Pad Squad started in 2020 because there was a huge need for menstrual products at that time. People had lost their livelihood, and the women, the woman of the house never looks after herself really, and she's the last one to be taken care of. So we started by giving pads, sanitary pads, and slowly we shifted into menstrual cups. So what we do is that we give sanitary pads, not just rural women, but lesser privileged women, even in the cities. Okay. So we give pads, we give reusable pads, and menstrual cups is something that we also do, which is that we do the training, and we give menstrual cups. So that's an ongoing activity which we're doing. And it's Patscott has grown into many cities now. We're in 30 odd places, and we've got a huge volunteer base, and it's purely volunteering. And we are in smaller towns as well. Wherever we have our volunteers, that's where the volunteers take up the mantle, and they do what they can.
G, duly acknowledged. And with that, moving on to my next question. Ma'am, Abhi, we talked about ki what you do in your free time now as your work, talking about work life. If you would like us, अगर आप हमें अपने एक अपना regular specific day बताएं कि how does your typical day as a senior vice president looks like?
My regular day, whether senior vice president uh, or whatever, has been pretty much the same. So I wake up early. I wake up by about 5:30. Some days I wake up even earlier, but I like to wake up early, and my body clock is like that. So I wake up early, potter around, have black coffee, and get ready to go for a walk. So I step out for a walk by about 6:30, and then I come back about an hour and a half later. Then I sit down and do my meditation. Okay, and I spend time with my in my meditation and in my prayer for you know about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. Then get ready to go to work. uh, and in between that, there is, after that, there's calling up my mother, my whoever, a few urgent calls or important calls. I managed to get those done. And Couple of social media updates have to be put, so I do those. And some posts have to be put. Something has to be done. There are certain fires that are burning. So all those I finish those, and then I get to work, and then work the whole day, and then come back home. And come back home and get some dinner ready, make some more calls, if there, and start doing my social work, which is calls, there is messages, there is all of those connections, emails on the social sector front. And then I get into bed by about 10, 9:30, 10. I'm in bed, and then I watch a little bit of content. Also, we have to watch, no, because constantly we've got to keep updating ourselves with what's happening in the marketplace. So about an hour of watching, and then off to sleep. Yeah, pretty much that's what it is. And
Thank you
weekends
so
is
much, ma'am,
morning
for
to, yeah, and weekends is all the personal work that's required to be done. There's so much that happens that needs to be done in the house. There's so much, and all the social sector work which is on the weekends, the nights and the weekends. Yeah.
right. Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering the question. Here, taking few last questions. Okay. So, all right. So I'll be clubbing few questions, ma'am. Uh, a lot of questions that we received were that we, yeah, first along the lines of that, students, let's call them people who are in the age of between 20 to 25, like 18 to 25. There are some people who have like completed their graduation, completed their education in a different stream, in a different pool, because at that time probably they didn't have an idea, or they were not, due to circumstances, they were not allowed to do it. So for them, if they wanted to start from the beginning, what would the process look like for them?
Same, nothing changes.
So, with that, ma'am, is it
Nothing
possible
changes.
for them to get the degree from the institutes that we are talking, like FDI and
Yeah,
the
they'll
different
have to go
institutes
back
that
to
we are
that.
talking?
Either they go back to those colleges, okay. They go back to those colleges and redo that particular diploma, because most of the content, most of these institutes, you don't get a degree, you get a diploma, but it's 3 years. Typically the
Right.
courses are 3 years, okay, whether it's a writing course, whether it's a direction course, whether it's animation course, sound, whether music, whatever. Music is a little different because there are different set of colleges, okay. You go back and you have to study.
The process looks the same, all the same, guys.
Yeah, because
And yeah, so
my husband, for example, did his BSc in chemical engineering, no, in chemistry in BSc, and then he joined Asian Paints. And then he started doing his MBA on the side, and then he got to know about FTII, joined FTII. Then he did a 3 year course of FTII. So you've
right.
got to do this. It's the same. Nothing just because I'm a graduate, I'm going to get some extra benefits. No, no,
Got it,
no.
ma'am. Plugging in the
Unless
last line, like
unless you spend some time sitting and writing, you've written something, you directed something, you've taken your camera, you've shot something, you've edited on your phone app, you've applied yourself, you've put in the hard work. How is it otherwise going to happen?
right.
Tell me something. I mean, I want to say that I've done my BA in economics, but I want to be an engineer. What do I have to do?
In Indian
What do I
education
have to do?
system,
No, it's not about Indian education system. It's anywhere in the world. What do I have to do if I want to be an engineer? I have to join engineering.
yes, exactly.
It is not. Let's not talk about the Indian education system. We can't say, "Oh, Indian education system खराब है." उसके जितने इंडियन एजुकेशन सिस्टम में बहुत सारी चीजें ठीक नहीं है, ठीक है, लेकिन if I want to do something specific, I have to learn it.
Exactly.
Just because I've finished my graduation or I've done engineering but I want to, I want to now become an actor. Then you either you learn acting or you go out in the world, real world, and you have to try the kick out, and you'll have to do. I mean, you may be a naturally
Yeah,
fabulous actor.
exactly.
Correct. See, the only issue is
Exactly.
that because it is not so structured, that people tend to get confused कि कैसे करें, which is natural. And all the questions that have been asked, I've asked are very valid questions. Okay, but um, you've got to go through the journey of learning
Yes.
or applying yourself.
Exactly. As ma'am said, I hope that answered your question. And there's always a time for diploma, the lesson we are taking from it. With that,
But the
moving
diploma is
on to
not 1 year diploma.
it's
It's
three
not a
years.
1 year.
It's
If you want to do a
yeah,
good course, it is 3 years. If you want to go to the best institute, it is 3 years. I'll tell you the
right.
case of my niece, for example. So she did her engineering from one of the top colleges in Bombay. Then she went to the US. She worked in IT for the longest time, and then she realized that this was not. She worked for some 15 years or something in IT, and then she realized that नहीं यार मुझे ये नहीं करना है, मुझे direction करना है, मुझे लिखना है. So then she went to Columbia University. It was a 5 year course, which she finished in 4 years, because over there you get that facility if you apply, you finish your semesters or grades or whatever, you finish your course earlier.
Got
She finished it in 4 years. Now she's writing, struggling, she's doing all of that. It's not that it's easy. It's not easy,
it's not easy.
but she's doing it. Yeah, she's doing it.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering the question. And with that, okay. So, ma'am, moving on to the last part. The last question that I wanted to ask you is that what is something that happened today with you that made you smile?
So many things. So many things. Oh, this interview, for
We would love
example, or whatever, this conversation has made me smile. It has
yay.
made me smile, and what made me smile? Oh my God! I think today would be this conversation with you.
Yay. This is a technique for getting the appreciation. Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay. With that, I extend my gratitude to you, ma'am, कि आज आप यहाँ पे आए, आपने हमें अपना समय दिया and काफी सारे सवाल थे और आपने उनके with patience सबके जवाब दिए. And thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us today with the team of Gurukul Dream Foundation. And we would love कि आप इसी तरीके से हमें future में भी ऐसे guide करें.
Thank you. It's an honor. Thank you. It's a privilege, and to be here, and so kind of you to listen to what I have to say. And please, I really wish you well, and wish all the people who've sent questions, wish them really well. Just the thing is that I just want to say that don't think you're average, don't think you cannot do it. Everybody can do what they want, and if you dream about it, you desire it, put in the hard work, just do it. That's my mantra. Just do it. Karte raho, karte raho, karte raho. Because the minute you put every day, put your head down and do the work, and one day it starts happening for you. It will. Yeah.
That's a lesson that we are going to take from all the things that you have said and we have noted down. Thank you so much, ma'am. And we
Okay.
really, we really look forward to, to talk more with you, to, hear your stories and to, again, yeah, take guidance from you. We really wish to do that in future.
I'm always there for you all. Thank you so much for having me. God bless. Thank
Thank
you.
you, ma'am.
Bye bye.
So that was our guest. That was an amazing guest. So that was our amazing guest, Mrs. Chitra Subramaniam, Senior Vice President of Reliance Entertainment, जिनके साथ आज हमने खूब सारी बातें की, हमने काफी सारी चीजें सीखी, उनके एनेक्डोट सुने और देखा कि किस तरीके से इस पर्टिकुलर इंडस्ट्री में, इस पर्टिकुलर फील्ड में आप आगे जा सकते हैं। एंड यस देयर इज स्ट्रगल, यस देयर इज हार्ड वर्क, बट माय क्वेश्चन टू यू इज कि कौन सी फील्ड में नहीं होता है। सो एज मैम सेड कि अपने आप को एवरेज कंसिडर करने से बात नहीं बनेगी। एज मैम सेड कि just do it. So that will be our mantra for the week. Oh wait, for the let's take this for our life. Just do it. If you want something, if you desire something, as ma'am said, let's make it happen. With that, I wish you all a very good day. खैर हम वीक के बीच में है तो आई होप यू गाइस हैव अ वेरी गुड वीक एंड अ वीकेंड। तब तक के लिए काम करते रहिए, पढ़ते रहिए, एंड आई होप इफ यू आर अ स्टूडेंट लाइक मी, पढ़ते रहिए, अच्छे से पढ़ते रहिए, अच्छे मार्क्स लाइए, पेरेंट्स खुश रहेंगे, and keep learning, keep doing what you like, and I'll see you the next time. Bye bye.